The saying goes, there are two sides to every story. And as Division faithful, we've kind of seen this all played out center stage over the past week. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and today I wanted to discuss the issue with the leaks surrounding the upcoming Division title, Heartland. And I realize that right now this is a hypersensitive subject within the community, but I don't find that the least bit intimidating, as I have always reported on or discussed what I felt is relevant to this franchise. But before we dive into today's discussion, in case you haven't yet smashed that sub button for more intensive Division content, please do so. And don't forget to ring the bell to receive all future upload notifications from my channel. Alright, let's get this one going. So I forgot to mention in the intro that during this video, I will not be showing any of the leaked footage, or in reality, discussing many of my impressions as to what Heartland will be. That footage has already been shared all over YouTube and other sites, and descriptions have been posted on many of the game reporting sites outlining what Heartland is. There are also numerous videos spelling out every detail of the footage, the different systems, modes, and basics, so I don't really need to go into that as well. But what I did want to talk about are my impressions as to how this all went down, and also talk about the different sides, or let's call them camps, when it comes to how these leaks are received, because there was a different point of view I had never considered when I first sat down to script this all out. And don't worry, this isn't going to be a very long video, but this topic really spoke to me, and so I decided to get it out there. So first off, I want to discuss the content, but more specifically, the content creators, and how they should be viewed for their part in all of this. And you know me, I'm just going to say what I think and feel. But for this one, you might be surprised in the fact that I personally don't think that any of them have done really anything wrong. Content creation, especially news content, is all about the latest and most interesting subjects that could be reported on. You could say what you want about how it's all about the clicks, but in reality, yeah, it's all about the clicks. Think about it this way. Your favorite sports team has just won the world championship, and all the news agencies are reporting it. Since I live near Miami, let's pretend that the Miami Heat have won another NBA title. And as I switch through the different local stations, that's all I see. Miami Heat this, and Miami Heat that. They've got the trophy presentations, player interviews, coaches' commentary, and even the band reactions as they celebrate all over the city of Miami. And this goes on for days and days. Heat this and Heat that. Hey, what are your predictions about the Miami Heat winning it all again next year? What do they do to improve their roster for another title run? And then all of a sudden, one of the local news stations goes on air like 7 days after the Miami Heat has won the NBA title with breaking news: the Miami Heat has just won the NBA title. And as someone that has been watching all of this Miami Heat coverage over the past week, you kind of look at your TV and you ask, what in the hell this station's talking about? Well, they're just reporting the same thing that you've already known about, down to the smallest details, but this station decided to wait a week for insert whatever reason you want here. See how foolish that would sound? And in a media market as instantaneous as YouTube and Twitter, how would that content be received coming out that late? Well, as you can guess, not very well. And in a business built on being first and advertising and clicks, you would expect that video, tweet, or huge announcement that came out a week after everyone had already reported on it would of course get zero attention, no comments, none of everything that content creation needs to be noticed. So for anyone that posted about the leaks, their commentaries, their impressions, or general outlines containing every detail of what they had just seen, nah, I don't blame them or consider any of them part of the problem. The cat was already out of the bag with this footage. They were just doing what they needed or felt was the appropriate action to take. Now, as long as they weren't the ones responsible for the actual posting of the initial leak, I don't have problems with them. Of course, I've heard that channels that tried to repost the actual leaked footage have been hit with copyright strikes and have had the footage removed. And let's be honest here. If you were someone that thought you were going to be able to post that content that was under strict NDA and not have the video and or your channel hit with a copyright strike, well then, you weren't clearly thinking things out. Also, I've seen these sort of razor-sharp posts popping up all over Reddit and Twitter talking about the letdown of having the leak occur, and in general, I would agree with these posts. Having footage blasted all over the internet that was to be held under the strictest of confidence can't bode well for publisher-gamer relations. And all of this exposure may or may not affect player impressions with the upcoming release, and trust me, I get all of that. But what really sort of struck me was how this scenario has brought to light certain ideals when it comes to gamers and how they view gaming. On one side, you've got this camp that is absolutely dug in against the leaks. They stand firm against any discussion of the content. They shout down anyone that attempts to post something about the leaks, and they've really taken this hardline approach to everything leak related. There's also this other camp, where I tend to find myself, where I try to remain calm and approach it with a level head. I see and respect all the different feelings, and in reality, the only person or parties that we have issues with are the ones who performed the actual leak. Now for this group, we feel that those found guilty should face the harshest consequences for their selfish actions. But here's where I got surprised by some feedback I was receiving on a recent YouTube poll, and it involves this third camp, and these are players that have become disillusioned with the entire gaming market. They've been burned so repeatedly by the publishers that they now approach everything to do with new releases with a healthy dose of skepticism. Now, what I found really interesting is that this group views leaks as essential to keeping the publishers honest and producing solid and worthy content. Leaks are their way of viewing what the studio has been working on before the hype train flies overhead and sprinkles down a rainbow of flavor all over them. They get to use these leaks to see the game for what it is and make their decisions as to if they want to purchase it or not based on their own impressions, free of all the scripted gameplay reveals and fancy commercials. Now, to be honest, I never really gave this side of the argument much credit. I mean, I've always known that they existed, but never really knew what it is that they wanted out of gaming. I mean, were they in it just to burn the entire establishment to the ground, like some sort of gaming assassins hell-bent on total anarchy? I'm sure this group has some sort of militant wing that believes just that everything needs to be burned up. But what I never thought about is that more moderate side that really uses leaks in a productive manner. Not by watching YouTube and shit posting all over Reddit or Twitter, but by watching the footage and making their own informed decisions without all the bias. They may not get to see the final product in its most polished form, but for these individuals, leaks are essential for them to make informed decisions prior to pulling the trigger on a game purchase. Not that Heartland will cost them a single penny, being a free-to-play game that seems to offer up optional cosmetics via a season pass, but I think you see where I'm going here. I still find this fascinating that in my mind I have found a completely new species of gamer, one that shies away from all of the hype blitz, all the content posts, the news blast, and everything else, and really just enjoys reading or watching leaks so that they can make their own decisions. And this brings me to the final actor in this twisted drama, and it was the person or individuals involved in the actual leak itself. And for this group, you know what? I've got zero sympathy. I've personally heard bits and pieces of rumors. One says it had to be a burner account. Another says it was a legitimate YouTube content creator who actually recorded and posted the footage to their own channel. You know what? I personally don't give a damn who or how it happened, because it did. The details can be sorted out by whatever department at Ubisoft or Redstorm investigates that sort of thing. I mean, I'm personally still shaking my head at whoever thought that recording the footage and posting it was a good idea, because there are individual coded watermarks all over it that will lead the investigation team back to that individual. I mean, how would they think it was not going to end up this way? I guess there could have been some sort of hacker that got into someone's account, applied for the playtest, got the invite, recorded it all under the guise of the stolen person's account, and then posted it. But again, why? That all feels like an exorbitant amount of hoops to go through just to post the footage. In the end, I hope that whoever was the responsible party is ultimately found and punished to the full extent that the NDA allows for, because every time this sort of thing happens where someone that is under the restrictions of these confidentiality agreements breaks them, it hurts the other persons who abide by the rules and are there to help make that product better. Now, I'm sure that some of you out there know more about this situation than I do. You've got all the details for how it started, how it's evolved, and how it will ultimately end. But me just being honest here, and I mean you no disrespect, but I frankly don't give a damn for the details on all of this. The fact of the matter is that it's happened. How will all of this pan out for the Division universe is what we now need to concentrate on, and I, for one, am looking forward to the future. If you haven't yet smashed that sub button, please do so, and don't forget to ring the bell to receive all future upload notifications from my channel. If you could take the time to rate and or share the video, it would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to find me over on Twitch with weekly streams, join my community Discord server, and of course, follow me on Twitter as I post on most things gaming related. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.